And here we are in game number 1 between Overtaken and ElNoniro for T90 Titans League. For this one, for game number 1, they're going to play on Atacama. As you can see, the center will be populated pretty heavily by wood, while the corners will be populated by water. So we have ponds, we have the forest, we have your starting resources, your standard starting resources as well. And we're going to be taking a look at that in a moment, but let's start with the civilizations as we usually do. With Overtaken playing the blue color on the right hand side, we're going to see with Japanese 50% discount on drop-off buildings, as well as 5, 10, 15, and 20% faster working fission ships in the Dark Field Castle and Imperial Ages with twice the HP and plus 2 Pierce armor. Besides that, we also get for the Japanese 33% faster attacking infantry units starting in the field age, and for the team bonus, 50% extra line of sight on galley line ships. Hey, Staratas! Merry Christmas to you as well. I hope you had a great time. Let's go! ElNoniro, instead of playing with Dravidians, will get extra wood upon reaching a new age, as well as a discount on barracks upgrades of 50%. He gets with this civilization also 25% faster attacking skirm and elephant archer type units. In addition to, for the team bonus, 5 extra population support per each dock that they go for. So ElNoniro does have the possibility of saving some resources by going for the docks around, but it's not going to be quite as many as the resources Overtaken will be saving by going for just the drop-off buildings. Like over here, it's going to be already 50 resources saved, right? If ElNoniro goes for a dock, it's going to be only saving 25 wood on a 150 building, so it's not going to be quite as good. Regardless though, let's go and take a look at the map generation. Starting with Mr. Overtaken, the blue player is going to get the main gold on the back. He's got the secondary golds for it, of course, as is often going to be the case on this map. And then the main store is going to be forward as well. Now, this is a very interesting point of interest for the blue player. Going for a single tower over here, for instance, would allow him to protect up to 3 resources. In a way, of course, not 100%, as if we were to see an offensive tower coming up over here from the red player, he would still be able to push the blue player away. But something like this is going to be good for raids, right? Defending against raids. If you see any field units coming your way, you're going to be able to hop into a tower potentially. Given you are so far away from your TCs, and because you are collecting the resources from the same location, then that helps. First dock is already on the way for Overtaken. Meanwhile, ElNoniro already has the first dock up. And taking a look at the red player's map generation, we'll see that he's got the main goal on the left-hand side. He's got a secondary gold on the left-hand side, very far away as well. And then on the right-hand side, towards the south, he's got another secondary gold. Main stone is on the back as well, and this is not bad in the sense that he's got most of these resources behind the TC line. The problem is that unless he goes for walls to actually funnel enemy units towards the TC, then it's not really going to matter, right? He will need to go for something like this. And then, yeah, sure. Then just have the resource on the back over here is going to be good. But this will be kind of expensive, kind of pricey. And I guess because of having 4 resources on the back, it's worth it though. Even if it takes a little bit long. If you just committed 1 villager to it, start on the right hand side or left hand side, and then eventually wall himself up, I think that will actually be worth it. He does already some villagers at the center though, and because most of the resources are on the back, he won't be able to protect everything with a single fortification, at the very least not against raids, and that means that these lumberjacks are also going to be fine, because if you just get some quick walls around the woods themselves, you're going to be protecting 100% of your center economy, basically. While Overtaken is most likely than not going to be collecting from extra resources other than wood, so you can just rely on wood quick walls, right? Feel it should be on the way for ElNoniro after the villager comes out. He already went for Loom, if I'm not mistaken. Hit it. And Overtaken now is now on his way to the village himself. Lumberjacks and Lumberjills. Yes. What do you guys do for Christmas? This video is coming up on YouTube on the 28th. I believe. So the question is coming in a little bit later, but do let me know as well. I went over to Floodmate's family, and we spent Christmas over there, and it was good. Well, Christmas Eve for the most part, then Christmas was a very nice launch at a different place as well, and that was also very good. We had some fun. We played Jenga. Do you like that? I'm really sure that's the way you pronounce it in English. We play 2 on Christmas. I am 6, slowly getting better. Ah, yeah, Grump. I hope you do recover fully. We play 2 on Christmas since my family is in another country now. Wow. By the way, why is there no game sound? Or am I crazy? There is game sound. Yeah, why can't I hear though? What? I can't hear any game sound. I think this might be... Yeah, I think I know what it is. I had to change some settings because of the new audio interface. And... yeah, for some reason, Capture is not sending the audio to my output device. Well, anyway. You can hear it though. It's just me. Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna try and fix that. At a different point though. Right now it's probably not the best time. Oh man, I'm so happy that it's finally here. I still haven't really gotten around using it too much. Yesterday I only set it up. After getting back home, I only just put it on the table and try to arrange the cables all again for everything that I have. So that I will have it ready, already at hand for when I want to make use of it. But for the time being, I've not been able to make use of it just yet too much. Just tested one time. For an hour or so, just hooked up the guitar to it, and it was good. It was great. It was great. It was all that I dreamed it was going to be. It's small, it's super practical, it's high quality as well, so I'm very happy. And eventually, I'll replace this microphone for a higher quality one, and that one is going to make use of the audio interface. Is that the fresh mic you're talking about? No. The audio interface is a little box that allows you to connect an analog microphone to your computer. Right now what I have is a USB microphone, which is not very good and it's having a lot of issues. One day I'm going to let you listen to what the microphone sounds like without the noise filter. But yeah, and then the monitoring with the microphone that I have right now, it's not working too well because the output plug that it has is not very good. It's very finicky. So eventually, the audio interface that I have right now is going to allow me to connect a better microphone to it. But right now, the only use that I can give it is connect my guitar to it. It was part of the audio setup goal that we had before that I removed because I had already spent the money from the audio interface on the audio interface from Amazon, but you know the whole story, so I'm not going to go into it again. Maybe we can bring it back. A lot of pressure coming in though. From ElNoniro, we have seen him roam around with archers. For the most part, he's been unable to really get too much damage done. Meanwhile, Overtaken, he does have some units for himself, but he's been unable to get too much damage done either. Yeah, none of them is going for towers right now. And Overtaken's got some scouts already. He might end up losing one, not quite. Yeah, and then ElNoniro, he's managed to get the most damage done over here by pushing the villagers away from... Oh, the berries! But also, ElNoniro is getting pushed away from the stone by two measly archers. He does have one archer and one skirmisher, two archers and one skirmisher coming over. So he will push those units away. Meanwhile, it's going to be ElNoniro the one to keep the most pressure going against his opponent, as Overtaken cannot really go back to the berry bushes. If he does go back to the berry bushes, he risks losing those villagers, as ElNoniro's military count over here is actually quite significant. But the red player is going back though. Doesn't seem to be particularly interested in staying forward over here, even if he's got a much greater military count. He would 100% take a better engagement over here if he turned around and committed to it. He would still have enough units to go forward and keep on putting pressure with, but he's going to choose the way of cautiousness. He's going back towards the CC, and he will be able to click out to the castle edge very soon, which means he's going to try and keep these units alive until he gets to the castle edge, so he can go for the crossman upgrade. Now that's a very, very you know, cautious way to go about this, especially when his army is so much larger already than Overtaken's. Is so much better than Overtaken's, but we'll see if it works out. Castle Edge is on the way for ElNoniro. Overtaken, not so much. For these scouts, we have scale bar than armor already. For the skirmishers and the archers for Overtaken, we also have a fletching impaler archer armor. But there is no forging, there is no bloodlines for Overtaken, so the scouts are not quite as good. The archers are good. The archers are good, but they are not quite as numerous, so Overtaken is going to bail back. Hey, Hardcore Massive! Hi, how are you doing? Welcome back, I hope you're doing alright. I hope everything's going well. Yeah, and still no towers coming out from anybody. In the end, we saw a massive wall coming up on the back of Overtaken's wood line. He will be able to protect one of the golds like this. And then for the other one, he did go for one tower in the end to protect this one. Interesting. Merry Christmas to you as well, Hardcore Massive. I'm fine now. Just got over my hangover. You know, I kind of feel like that, even though I didn't really have anything to drink, just because of how little I had slept yesterday and how well I slept today, finally. Pay my sleeping debt. And then you needs more fish? Yeah, it'd be great if he had gone for a few more. But he doesn't want to overinvest into water because he's up against Japanese and it's going to be another form of playing catch up. So he's rather over here, 7 resources, not going for quite as many fishing ships. And trying to kind of go up to the castle edge a little bit earlier like this, right? He could potentially have gone for another dock on the left-hand side as well, but right now he's already kind of run out of fish, so from this point onwards, this is fine. Second thesis on the way, but ElNoniro has gotten Crossbowman. He's gotten Bozo as well. Let's go. Yeah, there we go. So far, so good. Oh, there we go. That is why we don't have any sound. Okay, I got it now. Let's go. I can hear the game. Yes, sir. Here come the crossbows. Overtaken already got to the castle edge himself as well. Fantastic. There we go. A lot of pressure coming in from Overtaken. And the Nero is coming in as well. Oh, but a big shot though! From the Mangonel, and in the end, the siege is staying up. Overtaken is getting pushed away from the wood line. Meanwhile, over here, Nero is going to end up losing a few villagers over here already. And the needed TC, not the best position for sure for the red player, not the best position for the blue player so far. We have seen Overtaken get the best KD over here, even if for worker count, it's been 1-to-1. Eco KD is 1-to-1. Now, ElNoniro does have 2 additional TCs, so if he plays his cards right, should be in a very good position for sure. Starting to pull ahead in worker count very soon. And kind of ignoring the fishing ship lead that Overtaken has had up until this point, right? Nice shot attempt from Overtaken, but then ElNoniro ultimately comes over. Takes 2 villagers down. He's got ballistics already, and that is a huge upgrade for the units that he's been going for, the crossbows. Ballistics is absolutely huge, and he's got the university. He's gonna keep on roaming around as well, and this is so much better. Now he could potentially try and go after the fishing ships. It would take a little bit longer, but he will be able to take those down in the end. He's got 2 little HP on these units to potentially turn around and try to go back to ElNoniro's economy because of the risk of getting one big mango shot over there, delete the majority of his units. There you go. The villager goes down, and ElNoniro so far has lost 3 villagers, so has Overtaken. And then ElNoniro's TCs over here will take care of these knights. We do have chain bar than armor, so that is good though for Blue's units, but in the end he does end up losing the majority. Yeah, only 1 left at 9 HP, so that is not great. A tower goes up though for Overtaken. You were asking for towers. You got 1 right now. Meanwhile, ElNoniro is gonna keep on roaming around. He doesn't really have much left to work with. The majority of the units he's got are back home. Yeah, there's actually a very nice tower. Still, ElNoniro does have extra places to collect wood from, and seems like he should be able to defend himself just fine over there. Take a look at that. The crossbows, the mangonel. No big shots over here, but the skirmishers and the crossbows, they will go down in the end. And now, ElNoniro has finally stabilized. Pressure now from Overtaken. ElNoniro still ahead though. The score has been racking up a lot of extra LTC time because he's not really been able to keep these working. But the moment he stabilizes, and now he has stabilized, should be able to work towards stronger food income, more robust food economy. Should be able to work towards getting the TCs back to work. And he is. He's got already 2 TCs working, as opposed to only 1. He's got 3 now working. And 19 farmers, so ElNoniro should be in a pretty good spot. There we go. So far, so good. ElNoniro has been able to defend successfully. Overtaken has been the one to put the most pressure, has been the one to get the better eco KD up until this point, 2-1. He does have 3 TCs to work with right now as well, so it seems like the working count is going to remain somewhat similar between both these players as well. He might be going down. Let's take a look. And ElNoniro's got the magnet over there to defend himself with that TC. Is going down. 1 more shot. And good reaction from Overtaken. The magnet over there will survive. And he does end up taking the TC down. So that's going to leave ElNoniro on 2 TCs. Overtaken still on 3. The red player was able to get ahead in working count by a little bit over there now. He's going to be only on 2 TCs now. He's going to be really careful. 1 properly set magnet shot over there can completely deny this castle. So he's bringing the magnet over. He's bringing the villagers over there. And the villagers will manage to get enough HP on the foundation over there to prevent the magnet from taking the foundation down. However, this one is going to trade not so favorably. It's going to be 1-0 in favor of the bull player. Now we still have the magnet left over there, and then ElNoniro does still have another magnet over here, but he might end up incurring a few losses over here, and he will. As the magnet ends up targeting the villagers, trying to get the castle up. We'll see a few go down in the end. And that is not a good shot from ElNoniro. Now he finally gets to clean up the mangonel, and that castle is coming up, but he has put himself behind by 9 workers against Overtaken, who now has the resources to make a play for the Imperial H. And ElNoniro, not even close. Not yet, anyway. And he keeps on roaming around. He's got 3 additional TCs coming up. So you lose one over here. This is worse than the Hydra. And then you chop 1 TC off, and 3 more grow in its place. We're taken. He's got a 4 castle coming up himself as well, and because he's going to be the first player to get to the Imperial Age, that should put him in a very good position. He's going to be the first player with access to trebuchets, for instance. Have you seen the games prior? No. I have not seen any of the games that I am yet to cast from T90 Titans League. So this one, the series that we are going to cover afterwards, and then the 3 remaining series that we have left before making a transition to the round of 18, I have not seen any of them. Good defense for Overtaken. He walks away. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to provide good casting, so I try to keep myself away from watching series that I will cast, of course. Kind of like a reaction channel, but not quite as well. I'm not going to say anything. just different. Hey, Turnip. How's it going? Hope you had a good time yourself as well. Well, thank you, Tail. It's appreciated. Definitely Siege Workshop now for ElNoniro as well. The castle's there. So, Imperial H will be here earlier for Overtaken. We knew this was going to be the case. He was the first one to get enough resources. He was the first one to click up. Now he gets there and we see a trebuchet immediately queued up. He was waiting for it. ElNoniro, on the other hand, he does have 2 castles though. And we do have 2 castles over here for Overtaken, so both these players will be going for double trebuchet production. Just ElNoniro will be behind by 2 trebuchets, right? He's going up a little bit too late, so that's going to allow Overtaken to get the first set of trebs out. Chemistry is on the way now for Overtaken as well. He's playing Japanese. He does not get access to bombard cannon, so it's going to be just for the Arbalesters. He's going to try to make a play for it. Potentially. He's got, for the most part right now, skirmishers only though. But he could go for it. Meanwhile, ElNoniro is going for chemistry. Should be in a much better position. Hey, Dancer! Hi. Should be enough defense from ElNoniro over there, but we have the trebuchets already out, guys. And Overtaken is going for the second set of trebs. This next push is going to put 2 trebuchets to work against each castle from ElNoniro. It's going to be very hard for the red player to keep the castles up against 2 trebuchets each. It's going to require about 28 villagers total for him to keep both these castles up, and hundreds upon hundreds of extra resources. And then he will need to do something to actually go and take the trebuchets down. If he doesn't, then the castles are going to just become a resource pit. Alternatively, he can try to target the castles from Overtaken as well. And just trade castles for castles over here. But right now, it seems like it's going to be the second set of trebuchets coming out from ElNoniro. And he's going to target the castle from Overtaken as well, yes. And the second trebuchet is over here, down the south. He's going to go after the castle, so it's going to be a castle trade from both these players. We already have a good amount of villagers trying to repair this castle. It's going to be 14 villagers, so just in time. He manages to keep the castle up. Meanwhile, down the south, he's up against 2 trebuchets. But wait a moment! There is the 3rd trip from Overtaken, and that allows them to take the castle down in the end. And down south, we'll see that ElNoniro, he's got 18 villagers to repair the castle with. He's managed to get finally the bombard cannon out. Now we'll see if he can actually make use of it. Where is it? It's right here, but the castle crumbles in the end. And you know what? The red player will take one of the castles down over here. If he plays his cards right, might be able to get the trebuchet down, and he will get one down, most likely. Not quite. Oh, he got it. But with 2 bombard cannons now, he's in a position to start taking the remaining trebuchets down from Overtaken and potentially going after the castles as well. So Overtaken is gonna have to bail for the time being. And what is the plan over here for the bull player? What is the army composition? I see just skirmishers. And against ElNoniro's current army, it's not going to be quite as good. Against the crossbows alone, yeah, sure, go for skirmishers. But now we have bombard cannons from ElNoniro. The bombard cannons alone do not really work, and it's gonna be under a lot of pressure over here, so he needs something to effectively defend himself with. So he's gonna start going for light cavalry. For the Japanese, that is not the best. He does not get plate bar than armor, so they only get +2/+2. And they do not get Hussar either. So it's just going to be light cavalry. Meanwhile, the amount of archers ElNoniro has, he's not really going to be able to defend against the light cavalry, mind you. But he's going for the Arbalester upgrade, and that's going to make the small amount of units he's got left a lot deadlier. He needs more defenses though. Does he know what to expect from the bull player? He doesn't see the stables. Yeah, he doesn't see the stables. He sees only 1 over here, 2 stables, I guess. But he doesn't see any light cavalry coming out. We're taking raid attempts, consist mostly of skirmishers roaming around. There we go. Does Samurai beat Urumi? I think so. I think it does. Urumi, they get charged, but they are not. They are going to, the charge is not going to be present 100% of the time. So after you get your first burst of damage, then the samurai are going to come out on top, as every strike is still going to benefit from the bonus damage against unique unit types. So Overtaken is not really going for it though. In the end, he's able to defend his castle up against ElNoniro. He's going to go for a 4 castle himself. Meanwhile, the red player does not have castles anymore himself at all. And you know what? You know what, guys? This is putting Overtaken in a much better position. He was already ahead in population, but now pushing ElNoniro away from the center wood is huge. A lot of villages are going down from the red player over here, here as well. Because the castle is going to provide protection for the trebuchets, and now Overtaken can keep on taking the defenses down from ElNoniro. Now the red player, after losing these TCs, this TC as well, he's going to be left on 3 TCs only and no fortifications. And the wood situation is going to be extremely precarious for ElNoniro, as he does not have substantial wood to collect from. Right over here, this is going to run out very quickly. He's going to have to keep on going for more and more lumber camps everywhere, and it's just going to be very inefficient. You can take a look at the worker efficiency in the last minute for ElNoniro to get a better glimpse of it. At it, 48% right now, 49% compared to 79%, 69% actually from Overtaken. So much better for the bull player. Higher efficiency. He has gotten a higher gather economy time count over here, Overtaken that is, and it's looking great. Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Even if he's got skirmishers to raid for the most part. He's not really gone too heavily into the light cavalry, but it's something that he can go for. After all, he has already paid for the upgrade, so it's only a matter of queuing a few. And a bunch of villagers going down right now from ElNoniro around to skirmishers. Got towers coming in now as well for the bull player. It seems like he's gonna try and make a play for Yasama towers. Where do you have a tower from the bull player? Let's see if he's got the Yasama already. Okay, so he's got a tower coming up in the north over here. He does not have a Yasama yet. He needs to go for it. He's got the castles though, so it shouldn't be too difficult. There we go. Yeah, when a light cavalry almost takes down the bombard cannon, you know you're in trouble. Kataparuto. Hidden ram trebuchets. Yeah, he can make use of it as well. Well, ElNoniro is going to recognize the situation and call it GG over here after dropping under 120 population. Overtaken is going to be the one to take game number 1 to get the lead in the series. And that was a 50-minute game. 170 and 87 population rather for Overtaken, and he was looking so good. Let's go, guys, for the achievements before jumping into game number 2. Let's see what we get. For military, we have a stronger KD for Overtaken, and it's not particularly close. It is very good, better than 4-3. For economy, we have a stronger economy for Overtaken, right? And for society, in the end, it's going to be ElNoniro, the one with the villager max count over here that looks the highest between both these players. But Overtaken did, by the end of the game, keep the highest amount of villagers. Plus, he took the fewest losses over here with 15 villagers going down throughout the game for Overtaken compared to ElNoniro, who ended up losing about 70, actually 83 workers over here, right? Well played. Overtaken 1, ElNoniro nil. We'll jump into game number 2 in a moment. And yes, sir, here we are. We're gonna have ElNoniro in the red color once again, Overtaken in the blue. And welcome everyone to game number 2. Serengeti, we have Overtaken playing with the Chinese. We have ElNoniro playing with Mayans. Starting with the blue player, the Chinese civilization is going to begin with 3 extra villagers at the cost of 200 food and 50 wood. We'll see in addition to that, for the Chinese, 5 extra line of sight on the TCs and 5 higher population support per TCs. And in addition to that, Overtaken is going to have with the Chinese 10, 15, and 20% cheaper upgrades in the feudal castle and imperial ages. It's going to have for the team bonus 10% extra food on farms for free. And taking a look at ElNoniro civilization, on the other hand, this is a civilization that's going to give ElNoniro 1 extra villager upon starting the game at the expense of 50 food. It's going to allow him to compensate a little bit compared to Overtaken civilization. Having 1 extra villager over here prevents the Mayans from falling behind as much as other civilizations do against the Chinese, right? Because you do go for loom early on with the Chinese, and because you do have kind of a little bit of idle TC time, right? And ElNoniro is also going to go for loom over here, but because the Chinese also get some idle TC time over here in the end, ElNoniro is only going to be behind by 1 worker, as you can see. Besides that, the Mayans also get 15% longer lasting resources, as well as 10, 20, and 30% cheaper archer units in the feudal, castle, and imperial age. For the team bonus, finally, the Mayans get a discount on walls, and that's going to be about it for the most part for both these players. So let's go and take a look at the map generation. The main goal for the blue player is going to be up in the north. We have the secondary goal on the back, very close to the wood over there. That's actually a very nice gold, this one. Should be able to protect it pretty easily. If he goes for some walls from here to here and then from here towards the TC, it's going to be fine, right? He would only need to wall the right-hand side somewhere, and I guess probably going for something like this is going to be the easiest, perhaps. But yeah, it's not just the gold, it's also the stone over here he's got on the back too, so it's looking good. And this is going to be the secondary goals and the secondary stones though. The main stone is forward, kind of similar to the main goal over there, and that's going to be about it. Meanwhile, for the red player, we'll see that ElNoniro, he's got the main goal on the back of his TC. It's not close to the wood, but he does have a secondary goal over here, very close to the wood, and it's going to be very similar as well, in a sense. The main gold, the main stone, sorry, is forward. The secondary stone is going to be over here towards the southwest. And if you take a look at the possibility for walling, even if like the red player went for something like from here to here, and then perhaps just something like from here to here. Ideally, I would like to see something like, oops, something like this. But even if you went for something like this, that would be already enough for him to secure this gold, of course. Going for this wall instead would allow him to secure the wool lane as well, which would be fantastic. Serengeti for ElNoniro. I don't know. This should be his home map, right? Anyway. ElNoniro is going to be the first player to try and put some pressure. He's got militias going forward already. It seems like he doesn't know where Overtaken is, though. He doesn't! He sent the militias forward over to the northwest. And that's nowhere near. Oh, man, the resources are near. Come on! Overtaken is already up 1-0. He's going to be the first player to go up to the fuel H. And ElNoniro has spent a bunch of resources on these units. He's sending forward completely blindfolded. Now he's finally going to realize about one house over here, right? So he knows the general location of Overtaken, but he doesn't know where the wall line is. He doesn't know where the resources are. So he's coming in with the militias over here. They're basically just following the Eagle Scout. And ElNoniro is finally going to spot the wall line over here. But of course, Overtaken's had plenty of time to keep track of the units. And now he's had plenty of time to react to this. So we see the quick walls coming out for Overtaken. And ElNoniro seems like he's not really going to be able to do too much. Ah, and there we go. There's one wall line over here that is still kind of exposed. Let's take a look. The villagers. They will pack a punch quite literally, as now they box the militias away. Yeah, and there we go. And then he is unlikely to get too much damage down over here, though. Although just keeping the units around this area makes the units a little bit more cost effective, right? Because he does get a little bit of idle villager time out of Overtaken's units. Now let's take a look at this. There we go. Fuel H is here already for ElNoniro. Yeah, there we go. And this has been somewhat effective, but not quite as much. If you take a look at the worker efficiency for ElNoniro, it is higher compared to Overtaken. Not by a huge margin, though. It's resulted in a few extra minutes of gather economy time. Let's take a look at how much of a lead ElNoniro has been able to get so far. Up until this point, 7 minutes. That's going to be worth about 140 resources. In an ideal world, of course. Interestingly enough, nobody's going to go for the walls whatsoever. Yeah. Double archer ranges for ElNoniro. He's not really been going for archers too much, but now he will. Meanwhile, Overtaken's just been going for scouts. He's been making a play for the unit. You expect the Chinese to go for usually, and that's going to allow him to clean up all the units. The militias, the Eagle Scout go down from ElNoniro. And Overtaken not to be the one losing momentum after a great game number 1. It's gonna look a little bit stronger for game number 2 now already, and after he's able to stabilize his economy as well, he starts marching forward. And he's got extra scouts on the way. He's got the 5th scout already out. If he sends everything forward then, should be able to get some good damage down over here. We take a look though. He doesn't know where ElNoniro is either. These players have struggled this game for scouting information. Overtaken is coming around though up in the north. Going over the right hand side. He's finally going to spot where the red player is. And the spearman is already there. The archer is already there. So ElNoniro does have some defenses up, but with 5 scouts, if Overtaken 6 scouts even he's got right now, right? If he sends all these forward, should be able to take care of 1 spearman, no problem. And ElNoniro has not really been going for spearman that heavily. He's got 5, yes, that is not a trivial amount. But for the most part, he's been microing 1 at a time, usually around resources. And yeah, the quick walls are going to be much more effective. So I'm liking this much more for ElNoniro compared to just the spearman play. That's going to keep him safe against Overtaken, pretty much, no matter what the blue player goes for. There you go. Nice. Fantastic, the Spearman goes down. And the Nero's push over here is not really achieving too much of anything. Overtaken made the natural transition to skirmishers after going for scouts, which you see very often. But he still has the scouts for, though. He's got 2 full HP scouts over here. He's going to start targeting the ElNoniro's wall line. Seems like he's going to be able to get a village down over here by the looks of it. Yes, the scouts are very high HP as well. The villager goes down, and we might see yet another one. But where are the spearmen? Where are the units for ElNoniro? He had so many defenses. In the end, he sends so many of these units forward. Now, skirmishers will take care of both archers and spearline units, but Overtaken doesn't seem to be paying attention. If he plays his cards right, skirmishers will always come out on top over here against the units that ElNoniro has sent forward, but this is a little bit unfortunate for Blue. Seems like he might end up losing many of the skirmishers over here. And because he did not really commit to taking more villages down over here, the scouts have only been able to get... Actually, I think he might have committed, right? It's his KD, 2-0, Lico KD. In favor of Overtaken. I think he might have committed to take another village down over there, but it's got a lot of scouts, guys. And most of the spearmen from the red player, they are forward. All of them are forward. So, if Overtaken goes and targets resources from ElNoniro, there's nothing for the red player to defend himself with over here. Has he gone for the walls around the wood line? He has not. And he has not gone for the walls around the goal over here, which means... Now the blue player, he finds an opening anywhere and he's able to get so much damage down. Meanwhile, Overtaken back home. With the amount of skirmishers this guy should be able to defend against, once again, archers and spearmen just fine. Just going to be Eagle Scouts that's going to give him a little bit of troubles, right? But then he can use villagers against that. It seems like he's going to bring the scouts over though instead. Alright. There you are. Beautiful. Yeah, and you know, so far, so good. Overtaken and ElNoniro will both go up to the Castle Age, and ElNoniro's got Overtaken beat by a few seconds. There's a big engagement brewing here. Cooking up. Let's see who's going to come out on top. The scouts do take the scouts down. The scout cavalry do take the Eagle Scouts down. Spearman crumbles over there as well. And the archers from ElNoniro get pushed away as the skirmishers over here from Overtaken are too strong for the red player to fight against. And Castle Age is on the way for Overtaken right now as well. So in the end, it's going to be a nice lead for the red player of 20 seconds. Earlier castle up time will Overtaken. Well, Overtaken, he's got arguably the stronger army. With the skirmishers over here, for the most part, he should be able to take care of these archers. And then with scouts, he should be able to take care of most everything else. We'll see. Oh, the quick walls on the goal, though! Do not connect in time! Scouts are kind of low HP, so they cannot get too much damage down over here still. He keeps on trying, and he does get a villager. And he might get yet another villager, and I think like he will. It's going to get another villager over there. It's going after the Eagle Scout over there, and because of the skirmishers, he's trying to go after the archers as well. And you know what? The archers over here should be enough to take the skirmishers down. But it's still going to result in a lot of losses for the red player for sure. KD so far 4-0 in favor of Overtaken. Because it's got Chinese over here, he does still get the benefit from the extra villagers, so he should have been able to benefit from the extra villagers for the most part, but still ElNoniro civilization is going to be very efficient. He does have a higher gather economy time counter. Well, Overtaken does put himself ahead in work count over here by about 3. Starts going for knights the moment he gets to the castle age. Meanwhile, ElNoniro is just going to keep on going for eagles. And the eagle warrior is going to come up very soon. The upgrade, the crossman upgrade, blocking arrow upgrades will be coming in very soon as well for ElNoniro. We'll see what we get. Overtaken's position is looking fantastic though. He's got a second TC on the way, but so does ElNoniro in the game. It's kind of stable right now. Yeah, that is true. Not having Horse Collar kind of hurts a little bit for ElNoniro. At the very least, his resource lasts longer. He's got Wheel Power on the way, and he's got Boso, which Overtaken has not gone for yet. So it shouldn't be too bad. Here come the crossbows. Now ElNoniro's got the upgrades he needs. Overtaken's got Scorpions on the way. He's got an defensive siege workshop up. Plus the Knights with chain, bar than armor, mind you. Are looking good, and ElNoniro's gonna be playing offensive. Meanwhile, Overtaken's gonna be playing offensive, and he's gonna be playing defensively as well. He's got Knights forward and back. There we go. Oh, we get to see finally some damage though from ElNoniro against Overtaken. One villager goes down. The first villager going down from the blue player in the game so far. But the Knights, the Scorpion, they are pushing the units away. ElNoniro's about to get cleaned up over here. The cross are going down. Meanwhile, on the right hand side, still a lot of Knights from the blue player roaming around the back of ElNoniro's base. Trying to find a soft spot amongst ElNoniro's defenses. There you are. Beautiful. We'll see the Chinese machine bow archers. Was not collecting any stone right now. As a matter of fact, he got one extra TC up. And he does not have enough stone to go for a second TC, so he sold it. And ElNoniro ditto as well. He's got one extra TC, but he doesn't have any stone left, so he sold the remaining stone too. Red player's trying to make a play for Eagles right now, unfortunately, with Eagle Scouts only and no Eagle Warrior upgrade. Doesn't seem like he'll be able to do too much. We see a conversion coming out for ElNoniro. Meanwhile, the Knights are coming over, and not a single conversion connects them. Mog gets taken down, and that's gonna be another GG. Overtaken takes on ElNoniro to get a 2-0 lead against the red player after an incredible performance in game number 2, and this is going to put Overtaken already 1 point away from taking the series fully. So game number 3, it's gonna be match point. Let's go and take a look at the achievements one more time, of course, before we take a look at anything else. For military, a better KD for Overtaken, approaching, actually surpassing 7-to-4 KD ratio. Economy, we'll see for the blue player, he ends up collecting in the end about 1,100 extra resources, or close to it, 1,032 extra resources. So his economy was better in the end, although that was not the case throughout the game. You can see earlier, it was actually ElNoniro the one who was looking stronger, right? Not that much later. Overtaken was able to catch up. Well done. And here we are in game number 3, already match point. And ElNoniro playing with Franks on the left hand side. It's gonna be taking an Overtaken playing with Berbers on the right hand side. My lord, how is Overtaken ever going to lose this with the Berbers against Franks? We'll see. We'll see. So I usually say it's mostly about the players, more so than about the civilizations, but anyway. Taking a look at what the civs will provide to the players though, we'll see that Overtaken has a civilization with a fantastic discount of 15 and 20% cheaper stable unit in the Castle and Imperial Ages. In addition to, for Overtaken, see for the blue player, 10% faster movements, villagers and ships. For the team bonus, he gets access to Jenny Torres as well, mounted skirmisher type units, and then for ElNoniro playing with Franks, it's gonna get 20% extra HP on cavalry type units starting in the field H onwards, as well as 25% cheaper castles, 15% faster working foragers, in addition to free farm upgrades, and then for the team bonus, Franks are going to get 2 extra line of sight on Nightline units. So go Franks, we'll see, we'll see. Let's take a look at what we get. Overtaken then, his map generation. And this is Jungle Swamp, by the way, for anybody who might not recall. The name of the map, that's what it's called. Taking a look at the Bull player's map generation then, we'll see. The main goal on the right hand side, it's going to be kind of close to the TC. Meanwhile, the secondary goals will be super far away. One on the right hand side, one on the left hand side over here, very, very far away. As for stone, we have one stone over here on the left. We have a secondary stone on the right hand side as well. So the main resources are kind of close to the TC, but they are kind of exposed too. The gold over here on the right hand side is forwardish. It's more side-ish than it's forwardish, but it's also kind of forward a little bit. Meanwhile, the left hand side, stone over here, that one is definitely forward. It's gonna be kind of tricky for the players to get the walls up over here because of the acacia trees, but they could potentially go for it anyway and go for something like from here to here, here to here, perhaps try to defend the gold, maybe something like this, but yeah, he wouldn't really be able to defend many of the resources over here, so it doesn't seem like walls will be coming in particularly easily for Overtaken. Meanwhile, if we take a look at the map generation for the red player, we'll see that he's got the main goal up in the north. We're gonna have a secondary goal down the south over here, and then the main stone is on the back. We have a secondary goal over here on the back as well, and then where's the secondary stone actually? Where is it? I can see it. Oh, it's over here underneath the scoreboard. You can see it on the minimap. About there. Well, that's very far away. This should be a little bit easier though for the red player to protect, potentially going for something like this. Maybe something like, you know, going for something like this obviously would be the best because he will be able to secure the full corner, but I'm not really sure if he's going to try and go for something like that at all. John the Janitors on Jungle Swamp. We'll see. Don't you usually see the map name in Capture H? Did I imagine it? Or are the control panel covering it? The control panel is covering it, yes. It usually shows the map name over here. But because I have the time controls up, the name doesn't show. But I'm going to try and say the name of the map at the beginning of the game every time. And yeah, this is just a side effect of having the chat like this. Adaptive, so that whenever I select something, the chat disappears. Whenever I leave the panel clear, the chat appears again. That is made possible in a way that kind of requires me to have the time thing up. It's kind of a sophisticated implementation. Compared to what most people do, with just lap in the chat somewhere. Or play no walls like a real man. Hey, Janelstar! How are you doing? Hi. How's the end of the year going for you? Are you doing balance for what you did in 2022, what you are planning to do in 2023? I was doing some of that, and I am so much looking forward to 2023. I realized I was actually able to achieve so many things in 2022. I had my first S-tier tournament ever, even though I wasn't able to fully take advantage of it because of getting sick by the last weekend. I wasn't able to even provide coverage. But, you know, it was technically an S-tier tournament that I was hosting. I have a lot of stuff coming up in 2023 as well, but then 2022 I was able to finish a lot. In terms of education, I was able to advance a lot. I finished about 5 courses. And that is without taking into account a lot of the things that I learned just by practice, doing stuff. Like, I've gotten better at making the thumbnails for YouTube. I've gotten more efficient at that kind of stuff. I've learned how to edit videos better as well. You have seen the YouTube videos that I have made, the custom ones, right? For streaming as well, I have learned how to implement a lot of extra things for my stream as well. The chat being the probably last iteration. And I have so many things coming as well in 2023, but 2022 was a great year. So very happy about it. Overall. Man, 2023 is gonna be so good. This is gonna be awesome. So the village is here, and we see already some scouts coming forward from ElNoniro. You're expecting to see this from the Franks. That's what they go for in the village. Overtaken. Overtaken's got his own scouts as well. That's what the Berbers are going to go for as well. And while we have seen Franks in the past go for archers over here, the scouts are certainly the unit to make the most sense with the players being so far apart. Mobility is certainly going to be key for both these players if they try to put any pressure in the village, which they are both trying. And ElNoniro's economy is going to be a little bit stronger because of the free farm upgrade. The 15% fast working foragers. He's probably going to be the first player to go after the Castle Age. However, once we get there, it's going to be the blue player to get a power spike because of the discount that he gets on stable unit production, right? 15% cheaper already in the Castle Age. There we go. Scouts are coming forward from Overtaken. It seems like he's gonna be the one to get the first villager over there. 1-for-1 KV. Spearman's gone down. The scout's gone down over there. From ElNoniro and Overtaken respectively. Now we're gonna see if he can get a village down or not. Seems like he's gonna be able to. The quick walls are not coming out for the red player. That's gonna be first eco block. Might not be the last one as well. There's a very weak villager over there that Overtaken's going right after. So that's another villager down already from the red player. ElNoniro, despite having Franks over here, despite having a very strong civilization with a very strong economy, is struggling to get damage done. The scouts are going down to the villagers, and we'll see one villager over there left and almost one hit. Let's see if he can get it, and he does. Scout in the end goes down, but so far 2-1. Eco KD favoring Overtaken. Well, he gets cleaned up forward for the most part. Then on the right hand side, we'll see that there isn't really much left from ElNoniro to put pressure against Overtaken with. So now the score is switching back and forth. Overtaken's been able to keep the TC working a little bit better. He's got 4 extra workers over here, even though he's taken only 1 extra villager down. That's because ElNoniro has gone for wheelbarrow. He does not have enough farms over here to kind of compensate for it, but he's getting very close. 3 extra farms, that's going to compensate already for wheelbarrow and the fact that he's behind by a few villagers. The right hand side. Yeah, Overtaken's trying to get the defenses up. He's gonna try to start collecting from some of the golds over here as well. Are these low elo players? Oh no, not by a long shot. These are not low elo players. These are going to be lower elo players than most usual players people are used to seeing in tournaments, but these are not low elo players at all. You can do exclamation mark elo space Overtaken and exclamation mark elo space ElNoniro to take a look at both these players' elos. But yeah, they're both going to be much higher than 2k. I think ElNoniro might be about 2k2. Overtaken, I think it might be 2k3, 2k4 probably. Yeah, there we go. So it's 2k4 Overtaken, right? And ElNoniro is 2k3 actually, so it's a little higher than I thought. But Overtaken's looking fantastic. So they are ranked 43 and 84 respectively. Overtaken and ElNoniro, they are just not quite as well known compared to the usual suspects, right? The Viper and Hera, Mr. Yo, whatever, because these players usually don't make it that far into S tier tournaments, but they're pretty good. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Hope anybody who's watching the channel for the first time today is having a good time. Remember that we have one more series to go for after this one, and depending how short the series are, between this and the next one, we might even be able to fit the 3rd series, but I think it's probably going to be 2 for the most part, given the fact that we started a little bit early, a little bit later actually than usual. 18:30 GMT, right? Yeah. It's gonna get kind of late by the time we are done with the 2nd series, even if it's a quick one, I guess. In case you're not aware of it, we've been providing coverage for the round of 16 T90 Titans League. We have been trying to provide 100% coverage for it, and we have 4 series. Actually, hold on, that is this one, right? The next one, and then 3 ones. Yeah. So besides this one, we have 4 series left to provide coverage for. We're gonna provide coverage for one of those after this one for sure, and then in 2 days. I'm going to go live again, and I'm going to provide coverage for the 3 remaining sets, so we're going to be good to go for the round of 18 already. Starting December 30th, we're going to start covering the round of 18 sets. There are going to be 9 of those, and it's going to be 3 per day on the 30th, the 31st, and January 1st, respectively as well. So we want to finish casting the round of 36 before we get to that point, of course. Castle HC already for ElNoniro. He's got a second TC on the way. Overtaken is getting now to the Castle H himself. Albeit significantly later. Hey, LOL Seeker. Hi, hi. Welcome. There you are. The defenses from Overtaken seem to be already up in place. He does not have an extra TC. Instead, he's going to be sticking to full night production. This is what I was saying earlier. Overtaken Civilization gives him a very powerful spike over here in the Castle Age by granting him a 15% discount on stable units. So he goes for triple stable 1 TC full production. Now he's got camels coming out. Not so much knights actually. Should be able to clean this out for the most part. And ElNoniro, I'm not really sure when he's committed to this. He's gonna get completely wiped out, and he does. Gets pushed away now. We're gonna see the red player try and make a play for monks. And that's certainly going to help, but how many monks is going to get out? Given the fact that Overtaken is trying to prioritize military production, it seems to me like Overtaken should be in a much better position not much longer from now. Interestingly enough, though, he will go for a second TC, and this is not necessarily what you're expecting to see from the Berbers when they are going this aggressively, but Overtaken, to be fair, also has been going for camels for the most part instead of knights, so that means that he might not be interested in going for aggression quite as much, as he just wanted to get some defenses up in place, giving ElNoniro's head start to the Castle Age. Now that he's been able to stabilize himself, you can see that he's not really producing any extra camels, any extra knights. He's got the third TC on the way, and it seems like he's just going to make a play for economy, while ElNoniro, he does have the second TC up, and he has had the second TC up for a while. No third TC coming out whatsoever, but BAM! Another villager goes down! Right away. There we go. Beautiful. It's gonna try and get some damage done with the camels forward. It's usually not the most efficient unit to go for raids with. Meanwhile, ElNoniro's own push coming up right now, consisting of about 11 knights, does yield the potential to get a lot more damage down, but Overtaken, he's got the camels to defend himself with. He's in a very nice position. Conversion's coming up over there. Good reaction from Overtaken, dropping the relic over there, trying to get the conversion. We're gonna see the conversion's coming out from ElNoniro as well. He does get one camel over there. We're gonna see the counter conversion come up, but not connect from Overtaken. And the monk is going right back towards the relic. But while the engagement was happening towards the southeast, up in the north, we see villages go down from ElNoniro, who has taken the most villager losses this game. Has taken the most losses, period. 16 to 9 KD ratio for Overtaken, favoring the bull player, of course. 5 to 1 eco KD for Overtaken, so he is right now ahead by 4 workers, despite the fact that he's getting housed. He is on a stronger military count right now, because of the discount as well, and despite free farm upgrades that ElNoniro gets. You know what? Overtaken is looking freaking fantastic. Extra Camel's coming forward right now, and it seems like he doesn't realize about the monks being there. He doesn't have enough line of sight. But these Camels could do a lot of damage, guys. Overtaken is getting to numbers that are very hard for ElNoniro to ignore. And these Camels, honestly, if you group these with these that he already had for, might actually be strong enough to even go after the TC potentially, but we'll see. A lot of knights over here to defend for the red player. About 14 though, we do have significant more Camels than that from Overtaken. He's bringing all the units together as well. It's going to be in the end a grand total of 23 for the bull player. Meanwhile, ElNoniro, it's got the knights coming over here, and it seems like the engagement is going to take place. The mounts are getting the conversions. We're going to see a few converted over here. In the end, it's going to be about 4 total conversions, but 5 extra Camels coming over. And the red player over here ends up losing a few to the conversions, but you know what? Do not fret. If you are rooting for Overtaken, this is probably the best side you can see on this game, as the Knights get completely wiped out. ElNoniro doesn't have any defense anymore and goes on to cause a GG and wish good luck in the next round for Overtaken, as the blue player gets a clean sweep to move on to the round of 18, the decider stage of T90 Titans League Silver League. Well played. ElNoniro was overtook, yes. For military, the KD in the end favors the blue player by a lot, very close to 3-to-1 KD ratio. For economy, we have a stronger economy for Overtaken as well, collecting about 1500 extra resources. And of course, because he had a discount on stable unit production, he was much better able to sustain military production at the same time as villager production because of the extra resources. Well done. Villager max count, the same for both these players. In the end, ElNoniro produced a few extra units compared to Overtaken. He ended up taking a few losses over here, while Overtaken did not produce quite as many, but he took only 1 villager loss. Well done. Overtaken moves on then, and ElNoniro gets knocked out.